Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight. Of course, with me is Cub of the Most, my favorite co-hostess of co-hosts. Lovely Techy Joe. How are you, darlings?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fairly evil, halfway tired, and looking forward to having reptilian DNA.
Hey, there you go. Soon. Well, technically it's lizard spit, but you know.
Reptilian DNA.
Basically.
Cell
Hey,
for
Brenda.
that slowly collect.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I wonder if they'll allow me to Area 59 after that.
I don't know. I'm just curious if they'll just send you a lizard.
That would be nice.
Like that would be cute.
There'd be one more pet we'd have to take care of.
More importantly, like, do you antagonize a lizard until it spits, or like, how's that work?
I think you tease it with something good.
Oh, so you get it to salivate. So yeah. I wonder if you can just feed it with a bell and you can go Pavlovian on it.
That's a question I'm not really sure of. For those a little confused, yes, Aeson went to visit Superdoc today. Hello, my princess. How are you, Gwendolyn?
Hey, Gwen.
Yeah. So I went to visit Superdoc and then got to have a wonderful dinner with Lady Gwendolyn. But Superdoc and me have decided that it's time to replace the human insulin with lizard insulin. So we're going to try this if the insurance company plays ball. If not, I have another program that will play ball with me.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Hey, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Looks like people are starting to come in.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because we want to make sure everyone gets in before we start tonight. Because I'm telling you now, I know what we're leading with.
Well, we are, but you got to give your Scarlet content warning.
Oh, yeah. I'll just go ahead and tell you now. You want to switch to headphones or herd the small children out or herd yourself out of a room with small children very quickly before we get into those. Ooh, do you get the pretty eyes? Ooh, that.
No, we'll have to see.
Could be cool. That could be cool. Oh, cool. Shannon was just got home from Columbus. Very awesome. Very awesome. Oh, yes, I know. Like, I love my dollar store. Well, actually, Dollar Tree find.
Yeah,
we have tons of these.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm all over the place with mugs.
Yep.
But I really like these.
Yeah, well, I also want to give a shout out to the reporter that brought this story to our attention, Erin Beck of, I think she's independent right now. But of course she'll be at Pagan Pride doing some talks. But she brought up a good story, and Toolie, we got a dually. So if you have small children, or if you're under the age of 13, please exhort yourself off to somewhere else. This is not the place for you tonight.
Yes. It's a thing. This is going to be a thing. So yeah. Oh, so all right. With that out of the way, I guess we're ready to go on this one.
Yes.
All right. So we got to build a little bit here. So there's a few things that factor into this one. Because this is centering around a West Virginia delegate who introduced this year House Bill 2157. And in case that means nothing to you, like it would to most people, House Bill 2157 in the West Virginia House of Delegates is forbidding displays relating to sexuality in public school facilities and forbidding the teaching of sexuality in public schools. Now, that one, yeah, like, for this story, Shannon, there's no way I can be anything but tired. This is just one of those, like, oh my God, kill me now. Like, can we just stop? So he introduces this bill. This has gotten some press already. This bill has. For the simple factor that the way it was introduced, so many things would have been, it was so broad. It would have covered virtually anything. It would have gone so far beyond like the don't say gay concept. It would have, you couldn't have discussed any human sexuality with this.
Right.
So any kind of like, and what the extents of those would be could be things like anywhere in English in which there is, you know, like say a literature text that is going to have some form of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Was that covered? Was that not covered? It was going to be a mess. So yeah, Joe Jeffries,
Mm-hmm.
R. Putnam, like you needed to know there was an R. Didn't we all just assume?
Yeah.
So he introduced this. And so that was already its own thing. And I like, yeah. So best I can tell, that one I think has stalled out since February.
Good.
So then we come along and interesting thing happened. Uninterestingly, so TikTok's a thing that exists, and if you're familiar with TikTok at all, you will know that it is typically known as a very teen-based platform. It is very popular with the kids these days. And he has an account there. WV_Viper, as it turns out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, allow me to do some research while you get to work.
Oh yeah. Well, we have something to show as well.
Yeah.
Because he produced a video. And okay, so if you're not familiar with TikTok, there is this lovely thing called stitching videos in which someone asks a question looking for a response, wants someone to effectively, like, typically those videos are things like tell me that you're petty without telling me that you're petty. That's been a popular one on there. But there's a lot of others. So yes, Joe Jeffries did manage to go viral. And in light of the situation, he oh yeah. So here's the thing. Before we get into the video or whatever, we're not kink shaming. We are not sex shaming. We are not sitting here going, oh my God, how could he enjoy whatevs? The thing is, though, you introduced a bill that would effectively eradicate sex health education, sex health conversation, the ability for people to find out in an educational environment, nice, scientific, age appropriate information about human sexuality. That's what you did. And then you went to TikTok, and apparently you enjoy conversations about sexuality.
Yeah.
And sex and sex acts, and you have no shame.
Well, I know he introduced this bill because he introduced this bill for one reason. It's cutting into his creator fund money.
That must be it. No, I don't think that was it. I think this is another moment of stupid. Like, do as I say, not as I do.
Roll the beautiful bean footage.
Roll the beautiful bean footage. So here we go, guys.
So here's the thing, ladies. If he's not pushing you up, gasping for air, then you're probably doing it wrong. You should be rubbing that thing all over his face, like hard. His nose should be shoving your clit so far back up inside of you that it just drives you wild. Sit. Not hover. Sit. Push down all your weight. He'll take care of the rest.
So yeah,
that's object 1. Can you get object 2 uploaded? So this is a moment of stupid.
Yeah. Just 1 second on that one. Because I did forget to go grab that one.
It's in Messenger.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. So yeah, I'll let you take some viewpoints there while you're while we get that.
You'll notice that most of this content here, he's pointing at directly women towards straight men. It is a known fact that I would call him a bigot. Secondly, I would call him poor at his skills. And, what's interesting is his leader of the delegates have stripped him of his committee abilities. He's been ripped off of committees. He no longer has committees. Putnam, if you were hoping for things to change in your county, Joe Jefferson, not going to help you there because he doesn't have anything. Joe Jeffries doesn't have anything ability on committee.
Yeah, so here we go. We've got that video to go up next, guys. Again, content warning.
All these women be out here talking about how a man never hits the G-spot. Have you ever hit his?
See, this is an example of bad education. Men do not have G-spots. Only women have G-spots. Men do not have G-spots.
There is, however, a prostate.
Yes, that's a P-spot.
Yes. So, yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a delightful person. Yeah. Now, some of you may also remember Delegate Jeffries. He's already taken a lot of flack.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he started spouting off obscenities, and Governor Justice pulled him off, or told him off. Yeah. It's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Putnam definitely deserves better. But yeah, so yet again, so comments so far, House Speaker Roger Hanshaw from a Republican from Clay County called Jeffries' activities an embarrassment, referring to prior issues as well. Hanshaw said the only action he has the power to take is stripping Jeffries of committee. And yeah.
But you need to be going and recalling his ass before you get into more embarrassment.
Oh, so yeah, wow. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That's how I was last night. I actually wanted to post something last night, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I could not string words together. Because again, and I'm going to say it again, for anyone who watches this later, and you know, the two videos just like smack you in the forehead and like all thought went out. we're not like sex shaming, kink shaming. This
No,
is not
we are
what
kink positive. We are
Yeah.
sex very positive.
Like, you want whatever rubbed on you and it's a consensual act. Like, you want to go do whatever oral sex, you rock you. You rock you. But if you're going to sit there and, on one hand, try to pull these conversations out of public education while turning around and having, conversations on social media, yeah, we're going to show up and just be like, what? Say what?
What are you doing? Yeah. Like, no, you don't get by with this. Now, I don't know exactly how well the creator fund is or how much it is, since he does have 12,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But how does this look for West Virginia? We look even more stupid.
Well, we did go viral. I mean, as it was mentioned, no one had that on their West Virginia bingo card, but
Steve, nobody had stupid, bigoted politician on the West Virginia bingo card.
Well,
We have one every session.
Well, come on, we have that one, but we've already marked that so many times it's ridiculous. Like, that's
If you
just
consider the free spot,
basically that's what that's considered. But no, I'm pretty sure that by his video, it must be under G. It's
Okay.
got to be G something. It's got to be G spot something. Sorry, I cracked myself up.
West Virginia's Democratic Party leadership is facing DNC credential committee.
Okay.
Oh, lovely. In case opportunities and diversity of party, during the meeting, 3 members to attend brought up one problem with a plan. I don't think it's wise to have drafted affirmation plans prior to blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh. Yeah, so the Democratic leadership is getting slapped.
Oh. So help me out. So what for?
Apparently, they were supposed to have plans and be working with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen.
Oh. Yeah.
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 And the quote from Mao's during the thing was, "Why are white people drafting plans for Hispanics and black people?" Ooh.
Ouch.
Yeah, this is not good, guys. Like, Democrats, we got stupid Republicans. They're guaranteed stupid Republicans. Don't be fucking up your shit.
Yeah, really. Of course, then again, in West Virginia, is there really such a thing as an actual Democrat? Like, I'm sorry, after the whole Governor Justice thing, I just don't even look at I don't feel any comfort in party anymore.
I don't either. I look at person, and I didn't vote for Justice. He's an idiot. I know he's an idiot. He has been an idiot. His father was an idiot. His father's father was an idiot.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So if we haven't lost all our viewership,
we don't like justice. We don't like Republicans. We support GLBT rights. We support.
Here's my thing. I don't even care at this point about political affiliation. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Stop being stupid. Quit being stupid. You want to talk about conservative financial policy? That's cool. That's probably one thing on the Republican platform I could sit there and have a real discussion about. Like, we want to talk about Republican politics. That's a discussion. That's a debate. That's an idea. That is a series of things. What I have a problem with is the hate.
Yes.
Stop the hate.
Well, what
Like-
I'm problem with is the control. Like, the control of our society needs to stop. We are adults who foster children that become adults. They need to think for themselves. Take the labels off my ladder. I don't need it to look like a ticker tape parade when I put it up the side of my house.
Well, yeah. Just my whole thing though is like, it's not even party. It really isn't anymore. It's just the hate and the stupid and the let's totally like not think this through and ruin people's lives and set people up for a lifetime of problems through poor education, especially surrounding sexual health.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one bugs the shit out of me. Like,
Right.
please don't do that to kids.
And can we stop this baby doll stuff?
Baby dog.
Please. We look like idiots.
Yeah.
The Mountaineer Fund, Champions for Real Mountaineers, Lotto for Victory. Take one for the team. I could have thought of better slogans than do it for baby dog.
Basically. Like, could have done a lot there, but no, we didn't.
So, now we have two delegates that are idiots. First, we have Porterfield. He was an idiot.
Well, and he was a special kind of bad. Like right now, if you had to do a ranking, like he's still on top of the mountain. Thankfully, not in office, but still on top of the mountain. Of like, wow, because technically, what he did was alluded to the idea of drowning his children if they were gay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a special kind of wow. Especially as a comment made by, a public representative. Yeah. That's particularly bad. But, Jesus loves you. Like, that's my problem with all this, is just that, like, yeah. Because it's where it's all based. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, I've seen this debate pop up in atheist forums before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple one. It's a simple question. What is an non-religious argument against homosexuality? And there isn't one. Dun, 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 dun. That's the magic of this whole situation. Oh, Justin, it is going pretty good. We're a little tired. We had a long drive. Lovely meal.
We found a new joke about my health care. We have to go through Ireland to get to my health care.
Yep, we got to go through a different country. Not even to a different country, through a different country. Which we find hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we? I know we're fighting a lot of voter restriction. Can we do political restriction? To run for office, you have to pass an IQ test.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Well, if they have to pass health tests, why can't we make them pass IQ tests?
I don't know. Well, I think you can be intelligent and still be, hateful. Like, now, is there technically a statistical correlation between, caring for your fellow man and higher IQ points? Yes. But,
Yep.
There's that.
So
Haggis, anyone?
Oof. That actually sounds good. I'll take a Guinness.
Okay, well, there's that. Let go of my Lucky Charms. Sorry.
Oh, that's your best Irish, I'm telling you. We can tell you're German.
No, actually not.
Yes, you are.
Scotch Irish.
Baloney.
Well, I think you would mean Blarney. But
I want Ancestry DNA.
well, there you go. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little broken mentally after that story. Like, it started last night, and I'm just like, ugh.
Right. But we want to thank Aaron Beck for breaking the story or bringing it to our attention. She is one of my favorite journalists. She covers West Virginia like nobody else.
And good spot.
Yes.
I just wonder if this was like something someone shared with her, or was this something that's like, hold my beer, I'm going to go follow his account, because obviously, without a doubt, he will publish something. And it's going to be hilarious. Ooh, they are ready for Britney Spears. They're jumping in.
Britney. There is a lot going on with Britney Spears. Please understand, my information may be delayed and may be old. But let's see. So her manager quit. That's what I was waiting for. We are lucky to have her as a keynote speaker at Pagan Pride, which is August 28th. Please bring your butts out. See me there. I will be there if you need daddy hugs. Not a problem. So, manager said, I haven't talked to Brittany in 2 years. I quit. Her lawyer quit is petitioning to quit. He can't quit unless the judge says he can quit. Mama Spears, who has been very benevolent to Brittany right now and has been since she's been added into the case because she was locked out of the original conservatorship, has petitioned the court and said, let Brittany hire her own lawyer. The personal conservator, remember, because there's three conservators. The personal conservator has petitioned the court to hire a guardian ad litem to work with Brittany to find one. And then we have on that the personal conservator had to get permission to hire 24-hour security at the tune of, and I always wondered how much 24-hour security would cost more than just a new husband. It's actually cheaper to get a new husband with a bulldog, and that is $27,000 a day.
That's a lot of security.
Yes.
That's a lot of security. I mean, it's not like, Trump taking golf days.
Under 24-hour security. Yeah. Daddy Spears is already under 24-hour security. But apparently she's getting some very evidential death threats. So that's been occurring. Of course, there's fees that, they're still bickering over money. And the judge is going, fine, we'll settle this all on the 14th. And there have been new documents filed. I'm not sure what all filed. I haven't got to see it today because I wasn't in the office. But I still think that they're going to end up either taking her out of this conservatorship very slow. But the Free Britney people, chill your jets. Let this stuff go through or we'll get locked out again for a couple years.
Oh, there's just so much in this, and it just keeps getting worse.
Yes.
Like, there's just no, so yeah, effectively she's feeling enslaved, she's having her reproductive rights controlled, and she's sick of all the medical evaluation.
Right, and it has been pointed out in Brazil this would be considered sexual violence. In Brazil. Not America, Brazil. Also, the Congress is wanting her to testify over this conservatorship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, it's not sure if Brittany's camp will approve it or if she will even be allowed to do it, but Congress is wanting her to testify before Congress.
I think that is probably a very, very important part of this one way or another.
Yes.
To shed light on the fact that this can happen. This is a thing. And pointing out that a conservatorship is typically meant for someone who literally cannot care for themselves. Cannot, absolutely 100% cannot care for themselves. That you know, and we've mentioned this before, like, we're talking about people with dementia. We're talking about people with, you know, severe problems that prevent them from making any kind of sound, reasonable judgment. By not being able to understand information, not being able to communicate back with any kind of sense. Like, this is what this is meant for, is someone who is truly incapacitated.
Yeah, so I really cannot decide, do I want green beans or corn with my mashed potatoes?
Or understand the concept of the two different items.
Right.
Like, that's the level in which typically this is seen. It is a total lack of understanding, a complete disconnection.
Right.
From any form of sound logical judgment. I don't see how these can exist just because someone, and I think we can all be pretty clear, she's had some issues.
Yeah. I feel she's bipolar. I really do. I think if she's on the correct medication and doing talk therapy, she will be fine.
Well, forgetting diagnosis. The scarier part is that, you know, this is a really powerful tool to be involving in someone's life.
Right.
To be using, you know, towards them. Let's not necessarily start with the words against someone.
Right.
But if the bar is that low, the ability to use it against someone, it like, that's too easy.
Right.
If you can go get a conservatorship because someone makes some bad choices, potentially has some otherwise minor mental health issues.
Right.
As in, these are not going to totally incapacitate her. There are tons of people that function independently in society, not always in the best ways possible. As in, they're not going to always make the best decisions. Yes, they're going to have some financial issues, etc. But if this is the tool you're going to use against someone, and that's what it is at this point, it's being used against someone. I'm sorry, mentally, it's insane.
Right.
You are effectively depriving someone of basic human rights. And for what? Like, what's the balance here? Like, she's going to make some bad financial choices and, you know, like, buy a few more cars and, you know, what is she going to do? You know, compared against how much is this going to cost?
Right.
You know, it almost seems like this is the worst financial decision.
Well, not only that, but this in general, looking at her, she has controlled dance troupes, she has filmed shows, she has continued doing all this work stuff. It is impossible to think that she is unable to manage her life and tell someone that she wants a soda.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Hi, Marty.
Hi, Marty.
Yeah, that's where the insanity of all this is.
Right.
It's just, no. This sounds like someone finding a loophole somewhere in the law to, I don't want to directly say enslave, but there's not many other words you can use.
Agreed.
Like, they've basically turned her into a piñata.
Yeah.
That they can keep batting around and batting around and batting around and making the candy fall out.
Exactly.
Force her to work, force her to pay, force her to give, force her to employ, force her to do whatever.
Right.
And if she refuses, if she doesn't, if she's non-compliant, then you go stick her into what is effectively a jail.
Right. Or
At that point, it is because basically what you're talking about with this conservatorship is the ability to functionally put her in prison until she acts right. Like they don't even necessarily have to see any observable like mental health issue. She can just be dumped in until she does what someone tells her to.
Or she can be grounded to her room and locked in there. She can't, some of the complaints that have irked me is she cannot go 8 minutes down the road to her friend's house.
Yeah.
They control when her boyfriend can see her, if their boyfriend can see her, and she can't ride in his car.
Yeah. I mean, now I'll put out here, it's a very gilded cage. It's still a cage. Like, just because it's gilded doesn't make it great.
Right. She can't go to West Virginia because the conservatorship won't work here in West Virginia. She can't go here. She can't go there because the conservatorship won't allow her to do that.
As in it's unenforceable?
Correct.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But at which point it becomes a thing of, if it's unenforceable, shouldn't you be considering why? Well, like, just as a legal argument.
Won't back it.
Right. But if you're also...
is a power of attorney.
Right. Well, what I'm saying, though, is if you're in a situation that you are being controlled into where you can go or not go, based on the legality of the arrangement in which you live your life, legally speaking, that's a problem. Like, as in, if you can control someone's choices to the point that they cannot go to a place in which they could begin to argue, hey, wait a minute. I'm in a, totally screwed up situation.
Yeah.
And that's my other problem with the way this conservatorship is set up and some of the arguments they've made regarding it. That theoretically, she really doesn't even have the power to be in a lawsuit regarding this and hire an attorney in the first place. And it's like, wait a minute. I could understand if we were again talking about someone with dementia. And potentially, you're going to be depriving someone of a lot of human rights for their benefit, mostly in the sense of protecting assets and keeping them from entering into what would effectively be wasteful situations. But if you can argue, debate the point intelligently enough to make a point, there's a problem there.
And Ashley asked the question, do we know if she has access to her passport? She does not have access to her passport. She does not have access to her credit card. She does not have access to her bank accounts. She does not have access to anything. If you have a small child, let's say age 3, that is about the basic rights that Brittany has. They do not have the right to determine what's for dinner. They do not have the right to determine what clothes they wear. They do not have the right to determine what goes on their social media. They do not have the right to determine who takes a picture of them.
Hey, Ashley.
Yeah, hi, Ashley. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, what? I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, So this is really sad. This is really ridiculous.
I would assume there's a social media management company.
There is a social media manager. Everything we see from Brittany is pre-recorded.
Yeah, and a lot of it has also been altered, especially like comments of support have been filtered out.
Right.
Like we've seen that in previous articles.
Yeah.
Is that even like comments of support for anything about Free Britney gone,
Right.
deleted, doesn't exist. Is if it's posted anywhere near her social media.
Right.
Like all of that's gone.
Yeah. But no, someone else has control of all of that.
Yeah.
This is why the biggest thing you can do to make an impact in this case is stop feeding the monsters. Meaning, do not post to her social media, do not go to her YouTube, do not do any of that.
Oh, so what's the YouTuber we like that covers her really well?
Ooh. Let me look at that because it's kind of hard, and I'm assuming copies her music.
Are we talking covers of her songs, or are we talking covers as in reporting? Coverage like reporting.
Oh, best coverage is like reporting. Best coverage, I have to say right now, is Emily D. Baker. She is breaking it down. She is going document by document.
Yeah, well, she does that for like any case she touches, and she rips it apart.
Yeah, she takes it to base level. Yeah, Emily D. Baker, and I will get a link out for her.
There we go. Yeah, she's worth sharing. Absolutely. And you're very welcome. So, yeah. Yeah, you spend a lot of time listening to Emily.
I do when we're not on air.
What?
We broadcast a lot at the same time.
Oh, sorry, got it now. I was like, what do you mean we're not on air? What happened? Sorry, got it now.
Is she covering the Lori Val / Chad Daybell cases? I haven't seen them yet. Right now, we're in the middle of a few different cases. Brittany is one of them, but she's also covering the housewives because there's 5 legal cases going on with the housewives. The housewife and the hustler case. I cannot think of the blonde's name. We all know who she is. She's the one that married the almost 50 years older than her man and is now trying to divorce him, and he's taken all this money. And then the Jen Shaw case.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot going on.
And then apparently Carly B is in a case, and I didn't get to watch that, so I can't comment on that one. But my point on that on Carly B is I will pull 3 cards about this case. As soon as I find my deck, remember, I wasn't at my desk today.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was weird. We were mobile.
Tell me about it. I had to pack my mobile office bag that now it's like a pharmacy.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's been a long day, though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different cases swirling around.
There is.
Like, that's the, yeah. Ooh, Ashley says, I wonder if Cardi B is still going through the case where she's had the hooker her husband slept with beat up. Whew. That's a lot.
I think that is the case.
No,
I'm not familiar with the Chad Daybell case.
See, I keep thinking you are. Because I swear I've heard Vallow and Daybell.
Okay.
Coming out of your office. Like, you may not have been in there at the time, but, you know.
Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff. A lot of court TV runs through my TV.
True.
All right, let's see what's going on with Cardi B other than a new baby.
Oh, did you have a pop out?
Well, I know she's having a new baby,
Oh, okay.
so I have to disclose that. All right, so Cardi B is having relationship problems. We know that. That's mainly over money. She has some goals and ideas that she wants to work through. She's going to lose some things. That ain't going to be nothing new to her, but then she's going to get that hustle on. Now, in all fairness and all clarity, I love me some Carly B. She's not as good as Megan Thee Stallion, but I love me some Cardi B.
There you go.
And of course, my favorite is Little Kim. We're going gangster. I feel she will make more. He is just kind of a pop in the fan here.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that he's got a long career.
Happens. Like, that's a weird thing in celebrity marriages is like you'll see like two actors get together when like both of their careers are like in the same playing field, and then like one just keeps going and the other one's like, who? Who? Oh.
Yeah, but that happens a lot, even in friend groups. We've been experiencing that a little bit, watching different people grow up and it's like, wow, I want, you used to have coffee, now you're over here doing this over here, and it's good God, you impressed my ass.
There you go.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I really think that we're going to see a lot of celebrity divorces. A lot of celebrity divorces going on in the next 6 months to a year. But I also think we're going to have a surprise marriage.
Oh, Nick Cannon and the baby mama's hot tea.
All right, we'll put that on for Friday.
Next Friday?
Not next Friday, next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll do the Nick Cannon and baby mama drama. And I think he's on number 8. I think there's one that we don't know about yet.
Good grief.
Nick Cannon's a big hoe. Point blank, he's a hoe. He ain't even good hoe. He's just a messy hoe. Well,
I could make a bad joke here and say, like, well, with a name like Cannon,
I've seen pictures. It ain't a cannon, not even a French cannon.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know.
I will.
All right.
So anyhow, what I find interesting is the Olympics will not have anybody in it. They're doing it without any stadium participants because there's a coronavirus outbreak there.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
So everyone will have to tune in to NBC to watch it. Although I won't be watching it because of the move they made.
There.
Yes, a COVID state of emergency.
Yeah. COVID state of emergency in Japan. What is that, Delta variant, or is this another variant?
No, this is just I think this is COVID B beta.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, Japan.
They used their own stuff. They wouldn't use Pfizer.
Ooh. Ooh. Just double checking in case there's more on that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're just continuing their same state of emergency.
Yep.
Jesus, that's not gone well for them.
No, this has been decimating their population.
Oof.
Yep, it's your internet. I'm here. All shiny and glossy. And don't ask me what that's about.
Oh, this is a horrible one. So ESPN's pointing out the Olympics are pushing ahead against most medical advice, partially because the postponement stalled the International Olympic Committee's income flow. It gets almost 75% of its income from selling broadcast rights, and estimates suggest it would lose 3 to 4 billion if the Olympics were canceled. So there are 11,000 Olympians and 4,400 Paralympians expected to enter Japan, with tens of thousands of officials, judges, administrators, sponsors, broadcasters, and media.
Yep.
But the IOC says more than 80% of residents of the Olympic Village will be vaccinated. So technically they've hit what, the starter herd immunity numbers?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And yes, Japan does have a child limit of 2. You get 2. That's it.
Well, China's up to 3 now.
Well, that's because they're going to not have children. They're going to be in a real detriment in about 15 years because there isn't going to be anybody paying into the economy.
Ooh, good questions, Ashley. If I remember right, I don't think you technically get paid to compete for the Olympics. Literally, I think everyone but the Olympian gets paid. But on the flip side, if you go and place at all, you do end up with a lot of brand deals.
Exactly. And so I figure they will have to wear masks from the time they enter Japanese airspace. Japan has had one of the strongest mask laws. They were also the country that was welding people in their apartments.
Were they?
Yeah.
It was China.
Japan welded people in their apartments.
Oh, God.
Quarantine, you're fine. You won't stay indoors, not a problem. Bring me a welding gun. I'll weld this door shut.
I mean, it's still horrible, but...
Very.
I mean, very, so to speak, proactive public health, but... like, weld a door shut, welding people. Yeah. Ashley, there were, like, news reports on that one. Like, it was a scary part of the early pandemic when they were first releasing images of, like, public health and, you know, basically locals welding doors shut on apartments.
Yeah.
Trying to contain spread.
Carrying people out on stretchers to take them to hospitals to contain the spreads.
Yeah.
And America ain't got anything on that. You know, we can't say, oh, we didn't do that. Baloney, we did it during typhoid. Typhoid, they padlocked doors. We pay attention to things that are interesting to us. I watch a lot of Japan. I watch a lot of Britain. I watch a lot of Germany's news. And, of course, all of them are roaring over this.
Well, and that in and of itself, that aspect hit pretty much all news.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just international news. It hit in the U.S. as well, because it's one of those, like, they did what? Moments. Like, you know, it was a drastic step. I don't know that I can say anything good about that other than that is some very advanced public health.
It isn't advanced, it's old public health.
Well, it is, but I mean, advanced in terms of like strong arm.
Oh yeah.
Like that is some next level.
Mm-hmm.
We will contain this, one way or another. There's a lot of things that you can debate on that as well.
Right.
You know, and it's not a good debate, no matter what you do to it. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly situation. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly debate. You know, when you start getting into how do you stop the spread, how far against, you know, like, and trying to balance like individual rights, human rights, you know, it kind of plays right off of like the Britney situation. Is how far do you get to go? Like, how bad is the situation versus how bad is the measurement against the situation? So,
well, you know, let's just update a few stories.
Oh, okay.
So 15 more bodies have been found.
Is that
is in Florida's condo collapse?
Okay. Sorry, we've also been talking about Canada and the burial grounds.
Yep, we're going there in a minute.
Okay, sorry.
So they've had to do what I found interesting, because I watched one of the press conferences. They had to bulldoze the other part of the complex to get to this section. And they have found 15. They've been able to find 15 more dead.
Okay. And has Florida finally moved on the condo collapse situation? Have they finally moved into it's not a rescue? It's recovery.
Moved to recovery. A total death toll of 79 people still. With this, there is still, if my math is correct, there is still 100 people.
Didn't use reinforced steel in some of the building. Okay, grief.
Yep.
I had not seen that yet. So yeah, but that would certainly create issues. And here's the thing, and I do want to say this, and to a way lesser degree, West Virginia's gone through this with just paving. Here recently, and that's a convoluted story. It breaks down into some simple math regarding minimum asphalt like concentrations and how, like, what that mixture is, and a company deciding that they were going to use that as their average, not their minimum. So we actually got worse quality asphalt than we ever should have. This has created problems all over the state. We are now going through a massive resurfacing of roads in West Virginia. And that's just because someone tweaked it to save some money. But it's a fundamental problem in construction. Some of the worst construction disasters start with things that seem not that big a deal, that turn out to make a very big, huge impact. It's one thing when you have a shoddy house builder, that's trying to, save some money and, like, maximize their profit. So they buy a little bit thinner lumber, they buy, a little lower quality, whatever. That's one thing. You can still get a house that lasts a long, long time. But when you start stacking into multi-home units and you go as high as a skyscraper, every little choice you make along the way is going to compound.
Mhm.
Every time you sit there and use a lesser quality material, every time you fudge it a little here and a little there, those are going to keep compounding. And then you have a building that, literally should have lasted for many decades to come, collapsing in the middle of the night.
Well, they found 48 other buildings in the same situation in the county. 48 other buildings.
And that's just in a county. County. Not the state, which would be bad, but in a county. That is a lot of buildings, and that's a lot of potentially affected people.
Right.
As in, these are now a large number of people that are going to need to make some really tough decisions about, what do I do?
Right.
Do I get out? Do I stay and hope they can get it fixed before? Like, how do we come up with that kind of money?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that was part of the situation with this condo unit in particular, is it was an older building, so it had a lot of low-income residents.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're asking them to effectively, what the original plan was going to be to fix the building,
Mm-hmm.
come up with a mortgage payment.
Right.
On top of the fact they bought this unit.
Right. We do not know if it's by the same builder, but here's the problem. There was a lot of damage done to Florida, and there's a lot of damage done every year to Florida by hurricanes. So they built in concrete. Well, guess what happens with salt water and concrete?
Mm-hmm.
It dissolves. It rusts. It erodes. And they're not. And these building people have not done the upkeep. A lot of what happened with 9/11 was actually the heat. The heat began melting the reinforced steel, and then there was additional damage from the previous bombings.
Well, and the bigger thing to keep in mind is concrete is a porous material.
Mm-hmm.
It takes on water. If you're talking about a structure that is made of concrete and steel, you have to always keep in mind concrete is porous. I don't care how much paint you slap on it. It will remain porous. And when you have standing water, especially, you're only going to accelerate any problems you have.
Now, 9/11 was a terrorist attack. Point blank, 100% terrorist attack. Yes, there was intelligence about the terrorist attack. No, it wasn't listened to. Kind of like the intelligence about January 6th wasn't listened to. Wasn't squashed immediately. And I think it's baloney that Pelosi had to go on her own and push for a investigation at the level of 9/11. I'm gonna try something.
Okay. But no, there's a lot of things. I guess there are a lot of things I can understand potentially having conspiracy theories about. 9/11's a hard one for me.
Right.
I mean, that's yeah.
Well, that's with the same level for me as Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
Okay, if you believe that Sandy Hook didn't happen, then you need an IQ test. We need to look at getting you a conservatorship.
Pretty much. But now, and to some degree, like, totally in spirit of debate, I would let some conspiracy theories slide, like, for instance, about 9/11. But the ones that go so far as to say it was all, literally all, staged, actors, the whole Megillah of conspiracy theories, that go that route, I'm going, really? Like, how do you process that mentally?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
when we witnessed it, it was on CCTV. It was on the news media because the UN was meeting, so there were news media there on the ground, filming everywhere in New York. When the UN comes into New York, it's a freaking nightmare.
yeah. So where I'm at with this, and just to clarify, is if you want to sit there and be like, was there potentially an explosion that occurred at the same time as the plane impact? I can see that as a conspiracy theory someone wants to argue and debate. That I can see. That I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go. That's the spirit of debate. You argue and debate that all you want. That it didn't happen, or that this was all totally staged and everyone was an actor and blah, blah, blah. That's where my difference is.
Right. Yeah, I think my difference is we saw it happen on America. I remember watching the second plane crash in. I remember them showing footage of the first plane. I remember watching it crash. I will remember that for probably as long as I live. Of about the same amount as when I saw the first films of Kennedy being shot. I will never forget the look on Jackie Kennedy's face, caught by NBC, of her just holding her husband, and then realizing that there's nothing to hold and she has to get out.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say from my experience of 9/11, as crazy as that day and probably a good few weeks after that were, and I was in North Carolina, like well removed from New York. As insane as that was, I would really struggle mentally to reconcile that much pain and suffering. And I'm not talking about my own. I'm talking about like the crap that went down. With like anti-Muslim attacks, with the because there was a shift.
Yeah.
Like in the immediate aftermath of 9/11 in that campus, and I'll be nice, I'm not going to name names, but the college I went to had a large number of faculty that, unfortunately fit profiles. And what became, the god-awful disaster of racially, ethnically, and religiously profiling people. We had problems on campus. We had professors that were afraid to go to work, were afraid to teach, that were getting threatened. We had students that were afraid to go to class, that were being threatened, that were being attacked. In North Carolina, like, about as removed from the area as you could get, without going to the West Coast, to find out that, and I'm just like letting it stand for a moment, to find out that all of that was this great big giant hoax, conspiracy, whatever, to know that someone had to plan that and was comfortable creating that much pain, because it wasn't just North Carolina, it wasn't just Greensboro, it wasn't just, it was all over the immediate horrible reaction that people had. I'm sorry, I have more problems reconciling that than a terrorist attack.
Right.
I really do. I have more problems. Like, if you want to talk about greater, lesser evil, I have more problem with it was a conspiracy side and argument, and how evil someone would have to be to sow that much pain and violence. Versus this is a group that is a very specific group that has a very specific problem with the United States that committed a horrible act that is somewhat like you can sort of follow. Like horrible act, but you can understand it versus someone did this for what? For what?
Right. I remember I was in an anatomy 202 class because we were working through fiber nerve tissue and that type of thing. And someone just came in and turned the projector onto the TV. And it was right there, big screen, because they were in the middle of it.
Well, for me, I had my first class that day at 8 a.m. So that was pre-attack. So I was already, out the door. I'm waiting for a class to start. That kind of thing. Well, no, excuse me. I did not have an 8 a.m. class. I think I had a 9 a.m. Excuse me.
You had 9 a.m.
So I was already out the door.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because we started at 7.
Yeah. Well, so I'm already out the door. I'm waiting for a class to start that doesn't. It was a weird, and the day just got weirder. Like this normally bustling building just slowly died that day. As more and more and more people left.
Right.
Like classes were canceled, but they weren't really canceled. Like, because I ended up in a group, like a small huddle, because, I didn't have a cell phone. I wasn't carrying a laptop. They had already closed by like 10 a.m. the like one spot in that building that had a television, which was a little food court thing. They had already shut that down. It had closed. I wasn't getting any information. I didn't know what was going on. I just kept showing up for classes where a professor didn't. And each time it went from like, half the classes here to a quarter of the classes here to like a small percentage of us are here to like there's a few of us standing here going, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right.
Like we spent, because I had like classes that whole day. I never left that building on that day. Or typically normal schedule. So I tried to go to all my classes. And it was down to the last one when we finally heard there was something and everything was shutting down. And it was okay. So I went, back to my dorm. And the first thing I did is I picked up my phone and called a friend of mine. And I said, what in the hell is going on? I said, I've just had this whole canceled day. I don't know what's going on. Everything's been weird today. I don't get it. And all she could say to me was turn on the television. And I was like, okay, to what channel? She said, all of them, any of them, pick one. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't matter? Like, I couldn't process. Again, I have no clue what's going on. I cannot process at that point what I'm being told. What the hell happened that it's on every television station? What do you do in the world that happens and gets put on every station? And then I found out.
Yep. Well, let's take on another harder topic, and I am still calling for the U.S. to get its ass moving. Catholic priests, we have a ton of you in this country. You best. I got shovels. Let's get digging. As we know, the residents' schools, which were famous for reprogramming and taming the savages into this way and teaching them the ways of the Europeans. Well, we're up to 1,100 bodies. And we're not even all the way through. And 2,800 of those have names to them.
I'm sorry, there's 1,100 bodies, but
1,100 more bodies.
1,100 more.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, Ashley. I was having to ask him too, because I was like, wait. I was having my Doctor Who moment.
Yeah.
For those of you who get the reference, you know.
Yeah. They're moving to make a memorial. They're moving very quickly to figure out how to do this. The Catholic Church has still said nothing.
Oh, sorry. Ashley was not having the same moment I was.
Okay.
Having the what's going on in the world? So, quick backstory. Take it away.
Quick backstory. When, during the 1800s, the Catholic Church began running resident schools for the Native Americans and Native Canadians, Indigenous people, to be anglicized, as I call it, to be taught English, to pull everything together.
Oh my, she's been stuck on Elmo and Bluey. This is going to be hard.
Okay.
All right. I just mean it's going to be hard to take.
So the government would come and take your children, if you were Native American, and put them in school to raise them up and be proper citizens. So some archaeologicals were doing some digs at one of the residential schools and found originally 163 children, unmarked graves. This has been prompted to do more investigation at other residential schools, and we're now up to 20. The closest number I can get is 2,800. I do think we will see numbers like 60,000 when we're done with these two countries.
Truly horrible story. I don't know what else to say beyond that. It's.
This is more history they don't teach.
Mm-hmm.
This is more history that Indigenous people have talked about. This is history Romney people have talked about. Like I told you, I want no officials at my house.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is. This is why people of color have issues with white people. Understandably. Understandably. Hi, we're from the government and we're here to help. Hi, we're from the church and we're here to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, doesn't, no. No.
They were finding their tribes, but their tribes were teaching them native things, and this was the let's push that out. This is when it became illegal to do rain dances, illegal to have powwows, illegal to celebrate things, illegal to have religious objects.
Well, and
museums.
Okay, so dumb white boy question. And I think I know the answer. Has any other or is anyone else entitled enough to think you should go around the world and go, oh, you have a culture? No. Here's ours. We're going to overwrite that. I'm trying to think of history that may be obscure that I've forgotten.
Well, you have Ireland that's always been a battleground of cultures.
Yeah, true.
Okay. China, the Moors were very good at doing that during the medieval times.
Okay. But, I mean, unfortunately, white people are really good at this shit. Not a flex.
Very good at this shit.
Not a, brag. But,
that's something to be proud of, but yeah.
No. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, kind of excelled in that area of horrible things to mass populations.
Yes. And colonized populations and destroy history and destroy cultures and destroy lives.
Mm-hmm. Like, no, it's not a brag. I'm not like, nah, we're good at this. But
Yeah.
well, historically speaking,
Mm-hmm.
like really good at decimating populations. Like that seems to be about it.
And really good on, taking children and indoctrinating them.
Yes.
And killing out religions and killing out belief systems.
Mm-hmm.
And
my point being though is like this is unfortunate. Like this is the other side of history.
Mhm.
That when you step back and look at it, bird's eye view, this is what happened. This is effectively what occurred. You get a lovely story about like the Pilgrims, for instance. Thanksgiving, Columbus Day, it was awesome. La la la. And no, you dig into the history on that, and it's like, no, bad. Lots of bad. Many bad.
Mhm.
Lots and lots and lots of bad.
Yep.
That has had all the bad drained out of it and left with like some slight kernels that look good.
Yeah. Or just fucking made up.
Or that.
Just totally made up.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
comparatively.
It's like, Christopher Columbus and his, coming to America for gold and bringing blankets with smallpox in them and beads with lead in them.
Yeah, Mary points out in Ireland there are Magdalene homes for unwed young women and forced adoptions.
Yes, that they have found children's bodies in the walls of the fence.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the laundry women.
Okay.
Unwed women would be forced to work in laundry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an ugly history.
Women doing laundry in the early times, not when it was a washer and a dryer, when there was buckets of boiling water poured over clothes and beaten with harsh chemicals. Yeah, that's what we want to expose pregnant women to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catholic Church of Oppression.
Yeah. It's effectively, I'm stuck in the place of like, if you enjoy history, you're not reading history. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. If you now, granted, I enjoy historical information. I have a lot of useless historical information.
But if you're actually enjoying history,
Right.
like, yee, let's do that again. No, I don't know what you're getting, but no, that's not history.
No.
Because yeah, it's filled with a lot of crap, a lot of really ugly crap.
And there's things that I see in America today, and I'm like, why do we have this here? Why do we have crosses all over the place? So that we can remember how the Romans treated their convicts.
Fundamentally, kind of a giant symbol of
all over the place.
Pardon?
I don't see electric chairs put all over the place.
No.
Or dunking balls, or Iron Maidens. That would be more interesting to see Iron Maidens put all over America.
we've also really cut down on our, hangman's platforms.
We have, and those are always so prettily decorated.
Okay.
Garland and rope and candles, and they're always such an affair when the whole community comes out to watch a hanging and charl and laugh at the victim.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
I mean, this is the human condition that we have evolved from. We now have a federal government stopping executions again, which I'm sorry, some should be executed after there's DNA evidence, after it's foolproof. Like, there is no other way that this could have happened except A plus B occurred.
And, I'd be there if it weren't for the number of cases in which there was evidence tampering.
Exactly. That's my problem. I am very much for nice executions. And when I say nice, give them medicines. They go to sleep. We're done.
Well, and humane execution, more importantly. Well, but then again, we've had trouble with that. Because there's a sordid history of the concept of a humane execution.
Well,
and especially surrounding medical, chemical execution.
True. A good burning at the stake is always useful, but then you have air pollution.
And intense human suffering.
Not really.
But my bigger point being, in terms of our legal system, the general theory is it was better for 1,000 guilty people to go free than one innocent be convicted and suffer undue consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That's our theory. Unfortunately, we also have a legal system that is and arguably you could also say that it never really has been about finding truth, but it's gotten progressively worse, and it's more about what we can convince and getting closer.
Something that would look lovely on some of these mountains in West Virginia. The guillotine. I don't know how many times I've needed a watermelon sliced at a public event. A guillotine would be lovely to have around.
Fair. Although technically, you got to deal with smaller watermelons.
Not really.
Well, I mean, it'll hold it there, so I guess that works.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid it'd be very much a Gallagher show. Like, I don't think you want to stand close to the watermelon when the guillotine falls.
It should. It should slice right through. It normally does. I don't know. Thoughts to ponder, thoughts and ideas to trickle into your weekend. Do a little history research. Find out if you were the conqueror or the conqueree.
And then try to work out some things.
Mm-hmm. Banasta steel is wonderful, Mary, as a blade. I mean, it's a gorgeous blade. It polishes and cleans up easily. It's sharp, it slices well, and it very much doesn't dull.
You have over-researched. I'm sorry, if you have a favorite guillotine metal, I'm thinking you might have over-researched.
little.
You know. Oh.
I'll spell it for you. I don't know. Ask Google to spell Damascus.
Damascus
Steel.
Ah. Okay. That would be Damascus steel. Oh, says Mary.
Yeah. So, anyhow, have fun researching history this weekend. We will see you on Tuesday. And there's a lot of fly out of my mouth then. Until then, remember you can always reach me for appointments. And if you're in the area and you're part of the Nexus, don't forget we got a work weekend. All right, y'all. You have a great weekend, and we'll see you later. Oh, no, we won't see you later. We still have other things to do.
Yeah, one quick thing.
Yes, 2 quick things.
Oh, okay. You do your quick thing first.
No, you got to do your quick thing first.
Oh, okay. So, of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guest, Shannon C, and Shannon D. If you'd like to learn more about us or the show, or how to become a Patreon sponsor and become one of our wonderful baristas, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
Good night, y'all.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game